be making California rolls or sushi. So what I have is the sticky rice. This is the kind of rice that you want. You want it to be the short grain or a medium grain rice if you're not getting the specific sticky rice for sushi. So making sure it's that short grain or medium grain rice, not the long grain. And you can see, let's show you. You can kind of see here how little of grains these are. I don't know if you can actually see those, but yeah, so just very short grain. And what you're gonna do is you wanna measure out, I'm making a smaller batch, but you can make a bigger batch. So I'm gonna measure out 1 cup of rice. Get your rice into your rice. I'm using a rice cooker. If not, just follow the directions on the package on how to prepare it for on the stove top. I'm using the rice cooker. It usually takes about 12 minutes on the stove top to come to a complete cook. So for 1 cup of rice, you want to do 1.5 cups of water. So let's get that in there. And you want to make sure that you're doing cold water too. Okay, so you get your water on, get your rice cooker plugged in, and on to cook. And so you just leave that, let it do its thing. I've got a bowl here. We're going to transfer this rice into the bowl. Now be careful, this insert can get very hot. Ooh. So what you want to do when you get into that other bowl is just kind of make sure it's all broken up. You don't want big chunks of it. Even if you have a bigger bowl, that's even better, because then you really get that broken up so that it lets all that heat out. And we're just gonna leave that off to the side because we want this to cool down to like almost room temperature. Like you don't want it to be too hot to handle, but you don't want it cold either. So let's just put that off to the side. And while we're waiting for that to cool, we can get our veggies ready. Start with your cucumber. So with your cucumber, you want to cut it, you're cutting everything into spears. You want it to be thin. So I'm going to start with just 1/2 of a cucumber and we'll go from there. Remember, you want to take off the plastic of it, wash it, and then when you're putting your cucumber into spears, you want to try and take out any excess amount of seeds, like that middle part, because you don't want it to be too juicy. And now for your avocado. With an avocado, you want to cut it through to the pit that's just inside there, and you're just going to carry that cut all the way around. So mine's a bit older. I bought it a couple days ago, sadly enough. But when you're taking the pit out, you just want to do a solid hit with your knife and twist, and then it'll come right out. Now I'm going to try and use as much of this avocado. I don't want to waste any of it. Okay, so I wrapped my sushi mat in saran wrap. This way you can just reuse it and you don't have to wash it. You could also put your mat into a Ziploc bag. That works too. So you get your sheets of nori here, and I'm just going to be folding mine in half. I'm going to be using a half sheet. Now you want to fold it this way. Because if you fold it the other way, then when you roll it, those are going to be really thick rolls. It's fine. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the rough side up because that's going to grasp your sushi a bit better. And I'm putting the nori down first. This way then I can flip it. So a nice generous amount of the sushi rice on here. Notice how I'm dipping my fingers to start working with it, because you want to pat it down and you want to bring it right to the edge. Turned off, but you can see we're now rolling the sushi, so it's just using the bamboo mat. You're pinching it inwards on itself, pulling it back, rolling it some more, and pinching it in on itself. And you can roll it a bit, keep that round shape. So there's one sushi roll, and let's see how to make another one. This next one I'm gonna put a little bit of cream cheese in, and go from there. Okay, so to cut your sushi rolls, what I've been instructed is taking your knife and wiping it down with a damp paper towel. So it just gives that little bit of moisture so that the rice doesn't stick to it. So we've got our beautiful rolls here. Now you want to cut it in half. And then you can line those halves up. Now some of them are going to turn out great, some of them not so much. I am not a professional at this at all, full disclosure. But that does taste good.